Hi, this is Matt Lawton with Astrological Winds channel and looking at the astrological weather for the week of January 20th through about the 26th. And we do have some shifting patterns in the astrological weather this week. Last week, Mercury went into Aquarius, which started a little bit of a shift from Capricorn energy into Aquarius energy. And on Monday, which is today actually, the sun follows into Aquarius also. And I think you think of Aquarius, it's the higher octave of Saturn's energy. Aquarius is known for revolution, idealism, change, enlightened ideas. And yet, the important part to remember about Aquarius is it still operates within a system. Saturn is all about structure, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Uranus also has an affinity with Aquarian energy. So it lifts the more traditional Saturn energy into a higher octave of how can we improve systems that already exist. One of the misnomers I believe about Aquarius is that the term revolution is used rather loosely as a key word with Aquarius, but the revolution that occurs with Aquarius is within a system, usually. Aquarius will find new ideas and take them into their own being and make them their own and adjust them to some of the things that they already believe in, and then use that new knowledge to make systems that are already in existence better, more efficient, working at a higher octave. This is good in the case of all this Capricorn energy that we just went through in the last 2 weeks, and we will continue to go through for a long time. Saturn and Jupiter both in Capricorn for the rest of this year, Pluto for several more years still, and as I mentioned before, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Capricorn has an 18-year plus imprint. So Capricorn really had to see how our systems are failing us for the most part, the weaknesses in the structure of our systems, both in a personal and collective sense. And now that we have seen this, we've gotten awareness, which is what astrology is all about. Aquarius is saying, okay, let's process this. Let's take some new ideas that we were exposed to and let's improve the system. So this week, this Aquarius energy is really going to pick up, and the Uranian energy too. If you remember last week, which was just Sunday, yesterday, Mercury squared Uranus. And like I said, Mercury went into Aquarius a couple days before that. So now the sun is doing the same thing. It's just gone into Aquarius. Uranus is at an early part of Taurus, so immediately is going to be squared by the sun. And we also have a new moon in Aquarius this week. New moon at 20, or no, I'm sorry, not 20. It is at actually 4 degrees Aquarius. And So a lot of Aquarius energy is now coming in. And the square to Uranus shows that there's still going to be a lot of shocks and surprises this week in our personal lives and in the collective that are really going to shake things up. And I think part of what's going on here too is that we're all starting to realize how intimately our personal lives are actually tied in to the issues that the collective is having right now. So a lot of this stuff is like we're starting to realize we have to like address certain things together, or we're just going to continue to be victimized by what the collective culture and society is doing. So we really see how in Aquarius how we're all connected on that level. And Aquarius is really interested in equality, just getting equality and justice into the equation and equalizing things. So there's a lot of this energy to do that ahead and wanting to change systems so that they're more fair, basically. So that'll be the focus for a lot of us in what we've seen in relation to that. Now, the issues going on is like Uranus can be very surprising. It will drop a lot of sudden events upon us that we were not expecting. And it's just trying to get us to get out of the stuck place we're in. Now, what's interesting though about Aquarian energy is it can also be a very stubborn energy. Aquarian energy can be very like self-righteous really, and like almost arrogant in a quiet kind of way, like I've got the right answer and I will only work with people who have that answer also. So it can draw hard lines of division, so to speak, between different groups or individuals with different ideals who will not be willing to back down out of them. Now, it's not all Aquarius, though, this week. The Capricorn energy is going to remain very high, and in particular in relation to relationships. I think part of maybe what a lot of us saw in the last week or two also in our personal lives was like where we stood in relation to other people in our lives, and some of it probably was very frustrating, tense, stressful. This week that energy was going to kind of continue because we have Venus getting very involved with Saturn, Pluto, and Eris. It semi-squares all three of them today, Monday, exact. And I think really what we may see is that we need to like separate ourselves from certain people or the idea of who those people are, and just really reassess a lot of our relationships with people and put them in a proper perspective so that they have the ability to change and adjust to something that works better for us. And that's our viewpoint of them. It's not like we can go out and force other people to change. It's more like we have to accept that that's the way we are and work with what we have there. So there's going to be a lot of frustration and tension still in relationships this week due to these semi-squares, and also, Venus is square Mars later in the week also, so that just there's tension between the feminine and male principles still going on. Also, that could come out in people's personal relationships with one another, and just like in a more societal level, what we would call the battle of the sexes. So yeah, that's some of the bigger energy going on. Now there is, there is stuff we can work with too here. One of the interesting things is the Sun and Mercury are both semi-square Neptune too. So like, even the ideals we have right now are still in a very early developmental stage, and there can be a lot of like confusion, inner confusion, and misunderstanding on the outside about what we're trying to do with them. That's added to this like mix of Uranus and Aquarius and Capricorn energy going on this week. So that's another thing that's really needing to be like dealt with, in the sense of like there's just this unclarity still of like, oh, is this exactly, am I right? Am I right about where I'm going right now? Basically, there's like that self-doubt that can creep in because of like the times being so malleable and changing, and not able to like change in the way we want it to change quick enough. But so those semi-squares, like I said, can really add a little of the confusion in there. But there is, by the end of the week too, Pluto is exactly square Eris. So, like I said, a lot of that energy of the Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter is going to continue through this week. But I think we're going to start to feel the injection of the Aquarius energy and start to contemplate what we can do with it, and especially under the new moon too. I mean, because obviously the new moon is a time when things can be seeded, but we have to understand the ideas are still literally just a seed right now, and the ideas are also sewn in with where the collective is heading, especially in Aquarius. So it's not like an individual can stand up and make a massive change by themselves right now, because a lot of the issues we're all dealing with are coming from the collective and the state of the collective right now. All right, don't want to get too long here. That's the astrological weather for this week of January 20th to 26th. And anyone interested in a reading, I'm always available. Please spread the YouTube channel, Astrological Winds channel, far and wide if you are enjoying what you see, and you might know others who might be able to be interested in this and be able to want to listen to this and maybe up their awareness level of the energies going on each week, so that we can all try to work with them together and bring the changes that we'd like to see to both our personal lives and to the collective and the system. Okay, until next time, this is Matt Lawton signing off, Astrological Winds channel.